Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
Yes, sir.
They've been here a couple of times. We have Coach Gessie. Welcome, Coach Gessie.
Welcome. Hey,
You brought somebody with you, Keisha Smith.
Lakeisha
No.
Randolph.
What's going on over there?
Wow.
This
happening?
is Lakeisha.
You just think every Keisha last name Smith for
What
Jenkins?
does that say?
Wow.
Keisha Smith.
That says Keisha Smith.
You think every Keisha last name Smith for Jenkins, huh?
They set you up, Envy, man. They set you up.
And we have
Well, hello,
Dr.
Lakeisha.
Amsu and Amun. Welcome, guys.
Hey, what's up?
Dr.
How you
Amun
doing
and
the
Dr.
moon?
Amsu.
Amsu and the Amun right.
Amsu Smith. Amsu Smith.
Why you suing the moon, Envy? What did the moon do to you? Why you suing the moon?
I'm not suing the moon, man. Welcome, guys.
Thank
I'm
you
sorry.
for
I'm sorry.
having
As you see, that's how they had it on this.
It's quite all right.
Ever, you don't got to.
Good morning, Miss Smith. How are you today? You good?
I'm
No
doing
doubt,
good.
no doubt.
I am a Smith.
Thanks.
My sister's a Smith. It's fine.
All right. So, Coach Gessie, you've been working with Lakeisha.
Yes.
So, explain to us what happened, why she came to you, and what you decided to do.
Well, we're wearing yellow. At least the two of us are, because March is Endometriosis Awareness Month. Okay.
Now, do you guys all know what endometriosis
No, I would
is?
like to know.
No,
though.
please tell us.
Exactly. So it's one of the leading. Actually, it affects up to 200 million women worldwide. 1 in every 10 women in the U.S., and of course, it disproportionately affects Black women. Okay. Celebrities such as Whoopi Goldberg and Monica, Tia Mowry. And actually, Gabrielle Union has been really vocal about it because she has a special kind of endometriosis. Now, what it is specifically is where uterine lining tissue, which is the endometrium that women shed monthly, okay, it actually grows outside of the uterine cavity. And there it causes everything. Well, we'll go into the symptoms later, but it is one of the leading causes of painful pelvic pain and major indicators for surgeries, major surgeries like hysterectomies in Black women in the U.S., okay? And that has caused an epidemic where women don't even realize just because they're having major pelvic pain, heavy bleeding, right? They guess that they're having fibroids. When they don't have fibroids, they don't realize that they actually may have something else, which is endometriosis. And I'm going to toss it over to Dr. Amun to break down to how it actually occurs in the body.
Right. So, as we know, women have a cycle every 28 days. So what tends to happen is that when the endometrium tissue gets thickened, it's there to support when the eggs are flowing out of the fallopian tube, when the ovulation state is taking place. Now, if there's no semen to fertilize the egg, then what is naturally supposed to occur is they have a cycle. And it's not supposed to be heavy bleeding for like 5,
Right, it's
6,
supposed to just
10
be
days.
like spotting.
Just spotting, okay? But what tends to happen, or when the problem endometriosis steps in, is where that endometrium tissue comes outside of the womb. And what happens every cycle now, that tissue becomes inflated, or inflammation starts gathering. So this is the reason why they are suffering with more pain.
So women
cramps.
shouldn't bleed.
They should not bleed like for 5, see, a lot of women feel that a cycle is 3 to 5, maybe even 10 days of bleeding. That's not a cycle, you're hemorrhaging, okay? You're only supposed to spot 3 days, the max.
I'm not putting my wife's information, but my wife only spots, and a lot of women, when they talk to my wife about it, they say that's not natural, that's not normal, because most women bleed, I guess, frequently.
Right, so,
I have one heavy day, and then the rest is really light.
Which
okay.
means your body is headed, because of the changes you've been making too, your body is headed in the right direction.
So
But it's always
what's
kind of
going
been
on
like
right
that.
now?
But it's
What's
still
going on right now is that unnatural has become normal,
normal.
Right.
because
Right,
of
that's-
everyone's doing bad.
Gotcha.
So because everyone does bad now,
It's changed.
your wife is doing natural and normal. It's like you ain't right. Something
Right.
wrong with you. But no, that's how it's supposed to be.
Because my wife she doesn't cramp, she doesn't have any problems. She spots,
bloating.
Happy
and it's
period.
never heavy. It's not a problem. But she was like, most of her friends and most women that I hear talk about it always have heavy cramps. It's for a couple of days to the point where they got to take aspirin, they got to miss work, or it's hard for them to go to class and hard to go to school. I'm like,
Sometimes
That's
the bleeding
crazy.
is so bad for women that you have to wear a tampon, a pad, and you have to change it constantly.
Charlamagne?
Some
every
of our
couple of
women,
hours.
some of them actually even wear adult diapers.
Right,
Okay.
so-
That's how heavy it gets. to
And it's
that
an
point.
inconvenience for a lot of women.
It's an inconvenience for men.
No, we're not worried about y'all.
Period. Don't stop nothing but a
I'm
sentence.
saying, man.
Right.
So,
Come
Lakeisha,
on.
what was your experience that let you know something was wrong?
Well, I've suffered with endometriosis for over 5 years. How I developed endometriosis is I had myomectomy. And from my first surgery, because I also suffer with fibroids. So from my first surgery, I developed, from my first surgery of my myomectomy to remove the fibroids, I developed endometriosis, which was scar tissue on my uterus and my lining. And I had heavy periods, bloating, cramps. My cramps were like a 10. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't walk. I could not walk. Yeah, I had heavy bleeding. My cycle would be like 7 to 8 days. And it would just hinder my life. My daily function, I couldn't do when my period would come. So, Yandy Smith, who's my sister, she reached out to.
Well, she saw us on this show.
Right.
She saw the detox launch and then the interviews with the testimonials. And
She
was
reached
like,
out
"Oh my
to Coach
God."
Gessie and was like, you know what? My sister, she's been suffering with fibroids, endometriosis. I need you to talk to her. And then from there, Coach Gessie has been a blessing, and the team. I mean, I'm doing the 90-day detox.
She did the 30-day first with that.
And
Kia
it's been amazing. So I went from excruciating pain, a level 10 bleeding. I used to change my pads like every 20 minutes prior to starting the 90-day detox. Heavy pads, changing my pads every 20 minutes. Lower back pain, bloating, cramps. My cramps were like at a 10. And I also suffered with tendonitis of my rotator cuff. So,
which is because inflammation is present in the body,
absolutely.
and it migrated to her joints. Understanding that
now
the
the
estrogen dominance
tendonitis was
in
a
the
whole
body.
nother pain because I couldn't sleep at night. I would cry; it would keep me up. And people ask me, "Do I play sports?" That's a sports injury or sports, and I'm like, "No, I don't play sports. I don't throw the ball." But the tendonitis, they wanted to do surgery on my arm, and upon me starting the detox with the team.
Right, we did the
30 day, and now we're doing I'm on my day 84. I think
Wow,
it is.
you're almost done.
Congrats.
I'm almost done,
All
and
right.
I feel great. No tendonitis, no bloating, no cramps.
No
My
more crying at
No
night.
crying at night. My periods are like 4 to 5 days. I only could change my pad maybe. I only do change my pad maybe once every hour. It's very light. I
What's
have no-
normal? What's the normal time to change the pad?
It depends. Yeah, it depends on the woman.
What are you laughing at? Shut up, man. I don't want to have serious conversations with you around.
It also depends on how heavy the pad is. 'cause
Absolutely.
Yeah, because
Some
the
natural.
natural pads, if we could just talk for 1 second about natural pads, we really, really encourage women to change. Stop using the commercial ones because they cause heavier bleeding because they have dyes, right? And
Dyes and
chemicals in
bleaches.
them,
Dyes,
bleaches,
bleaches.
chemicals, dioxins
Petrochemicals.
that actually cause more
Estrogen.
bleeding. Now think about it. They're selling pads that cause more bleeding, so you'll buy
More
more
pads.
pads.
It's like using toothpaste with sugar in it.
Oh God.
Exactly. So now one of the first things we recommend they do is stop the tampons, right? And convert to the all natural and organic pads
What
that
about
are
the cup?
lighter. They are lighter.
yeah.
No cup, nothing that holds it up there in there. So continue. Finish what you were saying.
So
So the bleeding, you're talking about the pads.
So so now I only change my pad maybe once every hour. And my periods are like maybe 3 to 4 days. If
So
that.
men can never understand how much having your period when it's in a situation where you're always changing your pad, where you're bleeding heavily, when you're cramping, how much that affects your life every
inconvenience.
single month for days at a time.
Yeah.
And the stress. So that perpetuates more, right?
Well,
Because if you go into the root
I
cause-
guess what we want to stress and put across is that what Dr. Amsu said just a minute ago, that the abnormal is accepted as normal. And this is what we've been here, maybe our 5th time, and we've just pushed across that when you're dealing with estrogen dominance and estrogen becomes dominant in the body, this is the havoc. This is what it causes. And this is a serious situation because when we're dealing with endometriosis, it can lead to ovarian cancer, okay? I know the forms of cancer because the endometrium tissue will start spreading without the reproduction system from the ovaries to the fallopian tubes, your rectum, your bladder, your intestines, and it becomes a very serious situation. So again, we can't stress. You are what you eat.
You are
You
what
definitely
you eat.
are what you eat. The gateway to the gut is the mouth, and whatever you're putting in your mouth is gonna eventually affect the anatomy. So, you know,
I mean, you know what it is, right?
Why are you laughing?
You know what it is though, right? Serious.
What you laughing for, Charlamagne?
Natalie, stupid, man. It's everybody just want to mature.
What are you laughing about?
But you know
Weird.
what's going on though, right? And this is a serious thing that I want to say to black people, black women, right? Is that culture? We've lost our culture, and what do I mean by that? Is that a culture is an environment or a system where a species can thrive, right? Now, black women used to be the most fertile on the planet. Now, they're as infertile as everybody else. There's all these issues going on. So the system or the lifestyle, you know, the new term for lifestyle is culture, or the new term for culture is lifestyle, right? So the practices, whether it's dietary, whether it's exercise, you know, how they wash, what clothes they're wearing, even what music you listen to, all of these things affect your well-being. And a culture is where you thrive, where you can, and thriving is how we multiply, right? Or the quality of life. That's gone out the window because we're living somebody else's system, and it's not good for us.
All these bad habits are being passed off as culture.
All these bad habits. And the thing is, like, hip-hop was a survival mode for us, right? Inner city survival mode. Why it was, you know, we started saying it's a culture because we had to work out a way to thrive.
Speak our
but
truth.
even
too, right?
now with hip-hop's commercial, you know, the death of hip-hop with the vulgarity and everything like that. And with the vulgarity is the stress, you know, the music nowadays, it's like death music.
It's like
death,
art imitating life, life imitating
And I'm not, you know,
art.
I'm not having a dig at anybody, you know, anybody or anything, you know, I love hip-hop and that, but that was a survival mode for us. But now we have to get back into eating correctly, you know, we have to define our roles again because there's this whole gray area that we live in. And in that gray area, there's just pain, suffering, stress, you know. We have to get back to, you know, I don't think I've ever been this serious on this show before, but it's a situation. Endometriosis is just one of the reproductive issues. There's different stages of endometriosis. How it affects it goes from minimum implants, and implants are basically anywhere outside of the endometrium where you get endometrial tissue, and every month when a woman's supposed to be on her cycle, her menses, right, that endometrial tissue acts as if it's in the endometrium. So wherever it is, it's going to swell, thicken, inflame, cause pain, you know, affect other organs. So you have mild, minimal, you know, moderate, right? Moderate and extremely severe. And this is all it affects pain, cramps, pain during sex, pain when you go to use the restroom, you know, bowel movements or urination, right? Causes scar tissue everywhere. These are, you know, adhesions and scar tissue. It's so severe that, you know, we can't, you know, put a paper over it and say, you know, it's a bit of pain. No, this wrecks lives. Like, there's so many women who don't leave their houses because they're bleeding for 18 days out of the month. They get like a 5-day break, then it goes back to bleeding and stuff.
Cramping, because you might even cramp in between.
Absolutely.
I mean, you have no personal life. You know, a woman doesn't want to feel confident enough to develop a relationship because she's frightened. If she's basically
Keisha's a good example to ask her.
How was your without getting too personal? How was your personal life?
How did it affect your personal
life? You know, like dating.
It was hard for me to function daily prior to me starting the 90-day detox. I couldn't go to work. I couldn't walk. I had extreme back pain. I had heavy cramping, bloating. it was just an inconvenience for me. And also, right now I'm suffering with infertility because of the endometriosis, because of the fibroids. So that's a whole nother
which
area.
is a stressor that helped multiply the issue.
Absolutely.
Right, like
every
so between
year
30 and 50% of women with endometriosis
have infertility.
cannot get pregnant. You follow what I'm saying? What's going on?
But the
So
thing
how does
is
a
what-
doctor treat this before you do a detox? What were you told to do? Because clearly
Well,
it's been an
I
issue.
didn't consult my doctor. I just consulted Coach Gessie and the team.
So how did you know you had
You know what they
endometriosis?
tell you
Oh
to
no,
know?
because I originally went in for fibroids, and I had 2 myomectomies to remove the fibroids. And as of
came back
December,
because it wasn't the root issue that was
December of 2018, I have 6 fibroids now that came back. So they want to do another surgery. I don't want to have another surgery. I'm still trying to have children. So I said, let me try a holistic route other than, having the surgery.
What's
and
kept
then,
you in a regular cycle because they
Right.
kept coming back because it wasn't addressing
what
the root cause.
this is true. What
to
kept me
answer your-
there is my diet. My
Right.
diet kept them coming back, and my
And
my
your
lifestyle
stressors.
and the stress. So, yeah.
To answer your question though, Angelique, they will prescribe, your gynecologist will prescribe the pill.
But that's where it came from.
Ah,
That
that
was
was
the
the
birth
thing.
control
They
because
will
I was on the
prescribe
pill
the
for 10
pill.
years.
and that's what I was going to
That
say.
was
She
the
was on the
original-
pill for 10
That's
years.
what
Right.
brought them
So
about.
let's go into a little bit more about endometriosis and the estrogen dominant, what role that plays, okay, and how the detox affects it and why she's now starting to see some of the symptoms disappear.
Yes,
So when the ladies or women are coming onto this cycle, all right, you have the hormone estrogen being released as well as progesterone. But when you have estrogen dominance and it's now suppressed the progesterone, that's where it's havoc. This is where the endometrium tissue starts thickening and the heavy bleeding and everything occurs. So now when we put her onto the detox with the nutrition and the supplementation as well as exercise, as well as water therapy, sleeping, etc. It's a whole,
whole
when we say
protocol.
holistic,
It's a whole lifestyle.
It's a culture.
It's a culture.
The culture, man. It's a culture.
Right? Then this starts balancing out your hormones. So now, once that starting to take place, you will start seeing and feeling more relief in your cycles, in just everyday living.
Well, it reduced the inflation at
it
first,
reduces the
right? That's why your
inflammation.
pain started going away.
That's
it
what happened
starts
with my
right
tendonitis.
once the inflammation is down, and this is all down to, because we've said it so many times while we've been here, we're chemical beings. Okay, our hormones are full of chemicals, so what we put inside are also chemicals, our foods, our liquids, etc. So our detox plans have been designed to address these issues, especially for females. So you've done it yourself, Angelique, with the 14-day, I think, Charlamagne, you're the only one who hasn't done one of our detox programs yet,
I don't have a period.
but that's not what DJ Envy said. But
He knocks it on for me sometimes.
Right.
That right in me.
But and stress. We can't ignore stress.
No.
What stress plays in this.
Right.
And the thing about it,
Stress is a chemical, people.
there you go.
Cortisol.
So the thing about it with the women from the age of 25 to 35, that's when you could say you're at your
Reproductive years.
reproductive years, and that's where we're seeing the pandemic of the numbers rising of this condition, endometriosis.
Well, how
But
do
you
you
can
feel?
get it.
I would
But
like
you can
Dr.
get it as early as 11, as early as you
Yeah,
get your
because I was reading
Right.
that the earlier you get your period, the more at risk you are of having endometriosis.
and the sooner you can get it.
And this is the thing, you got girls who are like 9 years old starting their periods
Scary, right?
because of their lifestyle, what they're
What they're
eating
being
and everything.
fed.
And this is the thing. I'm calling out all these gynecologists, all these OBGYNs, because they're lying. Liared them. That's what we call them. Liared, right? They are telling women, we don't know the cause.
Right.
It's unknown. The same thing they're telling them about fibroids. It's unknown. We don't know. We're here to say no. It's estrogen dominance, estradiol.
Estrogen dominance.
Estrogen dominance. There you go. It's that simple. That's
Shouldn't
why.
women aren't women filled with estrogen?
No, they're not supposed to be estrogen dominant.
Everything's supposed to be balanced.
Right.
So and this also is a shout out to men. We become estrogen dominant, and that's where we
We
start.
can tell.
We lose hair. We get prostate cancer.
And that, so we're focusing on women, but men have to be careful as well.
No, we have a protocol for men with prostate cancer, prostatitis, and all these other erectile dysfunction. All of those there, we have men, you know, the first man who we cured was his father of prostate cancer. And, you know, when we say these things, people take it lightly. But when you have a man in your family who has that and he could die, you know, and this is the thing. Here's the thing about, you know, with black people, you have to be bolder, you have to be brave, that you don't fall back to the default of going to these niggas, these doctors who are lying to you, right?
Well, they're actually white, doctor.
No, listen, they niggas, man.
Well,
right?
what did Chris Rock say?
I'm saying, look, it's a lie, and we have to call it out because it's devastating our people, and our passion is to save our people.
Amen.
That's the number one thing, is like we're saving our people. So
we want to save all people, but we definitely want to save our people.
You know, when I was young, my mom had a hysterectomy because she had fibroids. I don't know why. I had a terrible summer because she was there ringing the bell. I had to do everything for her, and I don't want anybody else to go through that. Right? This is how I started doing what I'm doing.
I think one of the most important things we have to stress and put across is that women don't talk about these things.
Absolutely.
Okay. They're embarrassed.
We need to talk.
It's a secret.
It's a secret. They're embarrassed, you know, and you need to talk.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's why we want to generate the conversation. And
right.
With
and so many women are
and
dealing with this. So, Lakeisha, since you did the detox, right, let's talk about the changes that you've made with your lifestyle, with your culture, and how that's made you feel.
First off, I'm still doing my fruits and vegetables. Fruits and vegetables is my daily thing now. Water. I don't drink any soda.
Wait, coffee was her addiction.
Okay, so I was addicted to coffee. I was addicted to red wine. I used to smoke hookah. None of that no more. All of that bad culture out the window. I'm on a clean, healthy base, living, eating fruits, vegetables, no meat, no dairy, no carbs, no rice, no starch. None of that, and I feel good. So I'm going to continue with that. I'm not putting that crap back in my body. My main thing now, the goal was to have a miracle baby, but if that doesn't happen, I'm quite okay with it.
It will happen.
I'm just
gonna be
now,
aunties
I feel
and
so
uncles.
good and healthy.
Dr. Amun's going to make sure that happens, that miracle baby.
Right. And Coach Gessie, you had a miracle baby.
That's right. You know I'm passionate about this miracle baby, so we're not letting it up.
If it doesn't happen, I'm okay. I'm healthy. I feel
But you know,
good.
that for me was huge.
I
That was
feel
a major
good.
shift because, you know, I love the work you're doing around mental health, right, Charlamagne?
Yeah.
And understand that
Good book.
what she's talking about, you have to understand what her mental health was like for 20 years of dealing with infertility. You are, first of all, not feeling like you're a woman.
Hopeless.
You feel hopeless.
I feel like my
So
body
it's
wasn't doing what I was
it's
born
supposed
to
to
do.
do.
That's correct.
So you're
So I have to
perpetuating
keep
this
going.
thing that stress affects the way you eat. It affects the way you eat, affects the way you feel, right? It creates this continuous cycle where we're mentally sick, we're emotionally sick,
Absolutely.
and then our bodies are in this state of just disrepair. So when we say it's a culture of change, when she said in our last coaching session, when she broke this bomb, it was day 13, and she said, you know what? I want a miracle baby, but right now I have not felt what it's like to not have pain. And I'm so excited to live free of pain that for me, it's about being healthy. That for us is what it's all about. You know what I mean? Like for somebody to say, my health is worth it. Like, yeah, I want a miracle baby. Yeah, I want to live. But right now, I'm willing to make the changes because I didn't even know what it was like to live free of pain.
Right.
And for our women out there, you know, you got people like, it's been in the news so much recently. You had Quad from Married to Medicine and Sister Circle, and who is it? Michelle Pooh and
Who was the one who took the time off?
And-
Who was the one who took the time off for the fibroids?
Quad. It was
Quad,
Quad.
all right.
Right.
And it was, who was the other person? And and it was Shay Johnson from Love and Hip Hop Miami. They just recently talked about their struggles with fibroids and their surgeries. And what we say to these women is, you know, our hearts go out. We were like, oh my God, because another woman who's just being told to do the same thing, have the fibroid surgery, take the time off, and then guess what? 5 years, you'll be back on that operating table again.
It's a setup.
Because
Exactly.
it's a setup.
It's a setup.
Because they're not getting rid of the
It's going
root
to come back
cause.
because you're not dealing with the root cause. And so they'll tell you, and then one person was posting about some teas that help eliminate the symptoms. People who tell you it's a one quick fix thing are lying to you. It's a lifestyle change. That's why in the Hope Beyond Fibers Elimination program, it's about lifestyle. It's the coaching to help with the accountability, the support system. It's the nutrition plan. It's the herbal supplements. It's the lifestyle, daily habits, all of that. So we want you to know your life is worth the change. It's worth the change. You deserve to live healthy. And, for us, it's all about educating you. So please download that free MP3 we have on estrogen dominance, because it's a lot to take in this one setting. But we really go into it. It's right at thedetoxnow.com/gift. And please get that information, get the free food list. And I know Angela's going to be doing her detox soon.
Yes. I have a code so you can get 15% off.
That's right. And people are already ready. They're already ready. They're waiting on you. They're ready to go.
Now, you're working on something that we spoke about. Can we talk about that now, or you don't want to talk about that later?
Talk about it now.
Yeah,
Okay.
talk about it.
Yeah, I mean,
He said,
I want to
okay.
say,
We don't have to say who it is unless
Right.
you
You
want
got
to.
pretty in pink.
I
Talk
mean, no,
about
she,
this
no,
now.
Yeah, yeah.
She said, she knows I was coming, so she said she doesn't mind.
Now,
Okay.
allegedly, we'll
This
say
has nothing to do
allegedly
with you,
just to save our
Lakeisha.
old ass. R. Kelly gave one of the ladies that R. Kelly gave herpes to
That's
came
correct.
to you guys for some help.
Well, I actually reached out to you,
Right.
and some other people that I knew to get in contact, because I just felt like, the whole situation is sad, right? It's just, it's touching. So, I managed to reach out to the producer of the R. Kelly Surviving
Surviving R. Kelly.
Surviving R. Kelly.
Surviving R. Kelly, and she put me on to the young lady, and I've spoken to her. So now she's actually on our program,
Right.
because what we also eliminate, cure, reverse, whatever, is STDs such as herpes simplex 1 and 2.
Now they say there's no cure for herpes.
They say
Liar.
They say. That's what they
the
say.
reason why they say it's because where herpes locates itself in the human body is right below the spine. So your immune system doesn't detect it. That's why they say there's no cure. And then it gets
Well, it's actually in the
nerves.
nervous system.
Right.
So if you have it in herpes simplex 1, which is in the face, where people get cold sores, right, on their lips, it hides in the facial nerves, right? If you have genital herpes, it's in the base of the spine. That it lurks in the base of the spine, in the nervous system. So antibodies and whatever can't get to it while it's
immune
dormant,
system,
lying in the neuronal, nervous system. So we developed a protocol to flush it out.
right.
Now the human body is so remarkable that it's always trying to fight shit, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Always trying to fight stuff out.
Can
right?
it cure it, or does it just keep the outbreak?
Well, the human body cures it.
It kills
So
it, right.
we just give the human body the correct nutrients, because with the correct nutrients,
Correct
we're
environment.
invincible, man. We're super
There you
super
go.
people.
So she says that she wants to come on the show, right, to tell her story, as well as when
Experience.
When the procedure's done.
When the
When it's done.
procedure is
We
How
get all
long
these
will it take?
we get all these
So,
posts on Instagram all the time.
How long's a piece of
I
string?
Yeah, that's
Envy.
spam. I get that spam all the time.
But
Yeah.
how long does it take?
How long it takes? So she's had it for around, I believe, a year. All right. So I said to her, it could take up to 6 to 9 months. So she started the program, and again, she's finding it hard because
It's a
you have to
lifestyle
understand
change.
with this particular virus, it's a protein virus, so it gets activated by certain foods, certain proteins that will take certain amino acids will trigger off outbreaks. So we have to make sure that she's eating right. So she's coming along good. She's doing really,
It's
really
the
well.
the first 7 days is always the most difficult.
Well, hers is a little bit longer than that. It's still difficult, right? But it's difficult.
Right.
But she's really coming along, and the fact is that we've done this. So I'm not saying I'm hoping. We've actually done this.
So
It's-
hold on. The first 7 days of curing the herpes is
No,
No,
the
you
first-
You know he was coming back to that.
first 7
I was
days is
waiting for you to
detox,
come
sorry.
back.
Detox.
The
Then I
detox.
thought
Okay.
Dr. Sebi was saying that he had the cure for herpes too, right?
Dr.
I thought-
Sebi, yeah, we worked with Dr. Sebi.
That's why they killed
many
him.
years ago. Many years ago, when he
That and
actually introduced us to certain protocols for not just herpes but for HIV as well.
Right.
And that, so we do this, but a lot of people that we have helped and assist, they are either in the entertainment world or the careers.
And they don't want to be.
They
They
can't
don't wanna
out.
come
They
out
can't
with
come
no
out
testimonials.
and testimonials. We do
No,
have
we do.
individuals.
We have a few people who want to.
people that wants to come out and say, listen, I'll come on any platform, you guys,
Right,
and
to help
talk
other
about it
people.
and help other
Yeah.
people.
Well,
That's why
herpes got a bad stigma around it anyway, though. But it's a very common thing.
90%. Here's the thing: 90% of the world has some form of herpes.
There's different
90%
strands,
of
different
the
strands
world.
herpes. So when you see people with like acne or cold
Chicken
sores
pox.
and chicken
Chickenpox is a form
things
of
like that.
herpes, and it turns into shingles when people get older. They call it shingles or zoster, herpes zoster.
Right.
Did you hear about the shot? I read something the other day that they were saying that the HIV preventative pill or preventative
Also,
shot
you're
PrEP?
talking about
PrEP is not working as well as it was supposed to
They were
work.
saying there's a few people that ended up HIV positive after, even though they were taking PrEP.
And they said it was like
Right.
99. It was supposed to be 99%.
One of the things that did in Atlanta, so Crystal from Rollout magazine was telling us they was having, again, I think it was some form of gathering, a sister event. They had doctors come and were handing out PrEP medication, just handing it out. Now, if you do any research about PrEP, you're supposed to have a full
Screening,
consultation. to
medical
find out
history.
your medical history to find out if you have any side effects.
Wow.
If you're on any other medication that you might be
They
taking.
were giving it
that
out like it was
conflict-
condoms.
They were giving
Right,
it out
giving
like
out
it was
condom.
candy.
Right.
To black women. To black women in Atlanta. Okay. So you could see the picture that's forming, right?
Infertility is one of the main things that it causes.
Side effects, right? Also, it causes extreme damages to the kidney. So again, I think what we're trying to really get across to us is that when you go in front of your gynecologist, they don't really care about you. They don't.
Not everyone. Not everyone.
I'm going to go on a limb and I'm
No,
going to go out
not
there to say
Do
the
it.
majority of them,
Do it.
around 90% of
Damn
them, 90% of them look
Not
at you
everyone.
as a prescription and as a bill.
But
Okay?
too many. Too many.
Too
do.
many of them
Let's say
will
too many.
give you incorrect prescription and diagnostics for treatment and medication that is going to actually increase your symptoms, not better them.
That's
And what we're just trying to come across to say, you've got an option. It's natural. It's hard work.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not going to, Angeli, you did a 14-day liquid fast. Your friends did it with you.
Yeah. It was a
They
fast.
were falling out. They were falling out. DJ
I think
Envy's
at the
done
end
it
of it, it was just
twice.
two of us left.
It-
Yes.
I did every one of them.
yes.
Yeah, every one of them, right.
And, it's not easy, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, when you hear this sister talking now that her pain is relieved, her cycles are better, there's a future for them, So I can't stress enough that we've got to get back to nature. We've got to get back to eating in our culture.
And
I
it
think
does
that's the
change
new
your
word
eating
this morning,
habits
right?
once you
Culture.
do the
So we
detox.
gotta
You
get back
don't
to our
even have
culture.
certain cravings anymore.
That's an important. I mean, I remember you were like, I don't even know how I'm gonna live without coffee.
Without coffee.
Because she was like such, so addicted to it. But she's like, wait, I don't need it to be up anymore.
Did you have a headache the first couple of days?
Oh, for about 7 days.
Caffeine headache. My wife had a
And it's
crazy
horrible.
caffeine
Like,
headache for.
I would be so sick.
Yeah, she
No
was.
energy, no nothing. I couldn't
I don't mind that
move,
sometimes.
but I got through it. That
Yeah.
was tough.
And Envy's hair grew back.
Can
That's
you tell
right.
them, please? Because they think I did some butt plug. I got some
that.
hair on my ass and put on my
No.
head. Can you tell them that my shit grew back?
It did. We're proud of
Charlamagne
you.
over here throwing shade, man.
But take your hat
My
off,
We're
Envy.
bad.
so
Let's see.
proud of you. We're so proud of you. Envy.
He's talking about butt hair. Like, what's wrong with you? Nobody thinks that.
That's you.
So where can people find you to get this information? I know last time we discussed fibroids, and
Yes.
so many people were hitting us up for
Yes.
months and months still to this day. So where can people find you? And Lakeisha, I want to thank you for coming too, because I
Yeah.
know
Hands
this
up
is
to
something very
Lakeisha.
personal.
Hey.
Oh,
It's
yes.
hard for people to
Praying
share.
for me, guys.
Now,
And we
you
will
do
be
it.
praying
I'm
for
working
you.
for-
We can't wait for this miracle baby.
Thank you.
Yes, we could be aunties and uncles. So the first thing is more information. The more empowered you are, what women say is, now I feel like I'm the expert. Like when they go after coming and working with us, they go to their doctors and they feel like, you know what, I push back. No, what about the estrogen? Then the doctors get quiet.
Right.
Like, wait a minute, why are you giving me that? What about? And then they're like, oh, so they've now feel great because they're empowered. So get that free MP3 that we did a whole teleseminar on estrogen dominance at thedetoxnow.com/gift. And then also right there, you can schedule a free consult with us where you can learn about which of the programs is best for you. And then if you need more issue, like you have complications and you have other issues, you can also schedule a consult with one of the doctors there. So everything right at the Detox Now. We're here for you. And we just want to encourage you that we know it can be rough. Like when I see like what, she's a warrior, you know what I mean? And when I see what she's been through, I know, and I speak to all of our sisters who are walking through this road, they're like, you know what, the number one lesson for me has been to decide to take care of my mental health and my emotional health. That's why I say that's so critical, because once they made that shift to decide that stress, I have zero tolerance for stress, that allowed them to not stress eat anymore.
That's right.
It allows them to say, you know what, I'm going to take time and decide what I put in my body is going to heal me and not hurt me. It empowered them to do so much more, to care and love for themselves. And that opens up healing, because healing starts with peace of the spirit, soul, and body. You know what I'm saying? So we're here for you. Walk this journey.
On a side note, I was meaning to say this maybe 3 or 4 times of being on here, but as you know, we're from London, England, and a lot of our people wanted to shout out to say thank you to Angeli, DJ Envy, yourself, Charlamagne, for the great job that you guys are doing.
You got big fans, big support out there.
All of our London, UK family from round with the state, Church Road, etc. There was like, when you go on there again, please just tell them to say thank you, to keep us updated.
Northwest crew.
You know, you guys keep them informed, updated on current affairs and that. You're doing a great job. And, you know, you're showing us guys so much love. So
I love London. I just left London. I was in London a couple of weeks ago.
And on the behalf of Arsenal Football Club, the Gooners, you know, I just want to thank you guys.
My brother.
Now, don't shake his hand on that.
I don't know what
He didn't know what that meant. He was like, whatever.
Don't worry. You're gonna thank me later. You're welcome, by the way.
You're into sports,
But when
right?
you
That's like
It's
saying
soccer.
I mean, I know who Arsenal is. I know the team.
You know the team.
Liverpool?
I'm gonna be honest. I thought you talking about the battle rapper when you
See?
said Arsenal. I did.
But no, on a serious note, they want to say
I fuck
thank
with
you
Arsenal.
because, you know,
He can spit.
you guys are making a big impact out there in the UK. So they
In
just
the
wanted me
world,
to say that.
in general.
And we got to thank you guys for your work, because this is important, especially to know that you don't have to deal with pain, to deal with inconvenience of
Absolutely.
heavy periods anymore.
hope.
Yeah, there's definitely hope.
She's gonna have a baby
every-
boy and call him Mikey.
every single ailment, condition, or disease that black people are suffering from, and the reason why we're concentrating on black people is because nobody cares about us but
That's
us.
right.
So every single condition there is, we do so much research. You know, we're herbalists, so we do so much research to find out, all right, the root cause. What's causing this? What are the deficiencies in nutrients? Why this disease is happening? Then we go and we put together formulas and protocols to give the body all that it needs to cure itself. So,
That's correct.
So we could sit and say, yeah, our supplements are doing the curing, but what it is that no, it's just
Lifestyle
supplements. They're
change.
nutrient dietary supplements to help the body to rid itself of whatever, or to help to regenerate something that has become deficient.
Well
And
said,
once the
well
body
said.
starts healing, other things happen. We've
All
had
right.
people reverse lupus, MS, you know, things that are
Growing
like,
back their hair.
yeah, growing back their hair. You know, so look, start this
cannot
healing
help-
lifestyle.
we cannot-
Herpes and got his hairline back.
People keep on hitting us up,
I never had
DMing us,
herpes. I
right?
don't have herpes, but I do got my hair.
We keep on getting
Go ahead,
DMs
Baldy.
from guys who like, can you help penis size? We cannot help
Can't do anything
penis
about
size.
that.
Charlamagne, he can't help. Stop emailing him, bro. He cannot
But
help.
we can help you to regain your erections. Because if you're not, if you're not,
Alright.
if you're not
Okay.
erect in the morning, first thing, guys, it means you have erectile dysfunction.
That's correct.
If you do not have, you know, you're not having wet dreams, right, and you're not waking up 12 o'clock, there's a problem. So we can fix all of that, or our
Systems.
protocols
Yeah.
will help your body heal itself.
We appreciate you guys.
Well,
thank
you guys for joining
you.
us.
Thank you.
The
Dr.
detox now.
Amsu, Amun,
right,
Coach
.com.
Gessie.
Yes.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Smith.
Oh, and shout out, one more thing. Shout out to Yandy Smith,
Yes,
Oh,
thank
who
you. my
actually,
sister, Yandy Smith.
on January 1st, now, she actually did this in solidarity
She really
with
did.
Keisha. Now,
She
her
supported me.
fibroid
What
issue
month
was so
is this?
minor. So she's actually
Well, this is my
she's
my
into
last month.
Yeah,
Okay.
But,
but
Yandy
it's a
did the
lifestyle.
30-day. Oh yes, it definitely is a lifestyle. Yandy encouraged and supported me for the first
30
month,
days.
30
Shout
days
out
of
to
January.
Yandy.
Yep.
And she's always been my
She
support
took
team,
food
my
to
support
weddings
team.
with her. She's like,
my support team.
She's
She's my
serious.
support team, and I support.
we
her
love
as
you,
well, so,
Yandy.
Yes, I can
As
see
we're
Yandy
doing
bringing
shout
her
outs,
own
can I do a
food.
She
shout
did.
out?
Yeah,
I just
I
want to
went
do a
to
quick shout
Camilla's
out.
You guys had
Shout-
her crying the last time she was here. I'm coming for y'all.
That's me.
Shout outs. Shout out to Walker. Shout out to Tammy. Shout out to
Oh yeah, Walker and
Cino.
Tammy did the detox.
Yeah,
Shout
they
out
did
to
that.
Killer Mike. Shout
Killer
out to
Mike.
21. Shout out to all the celebrities in Atlanta who T-Pain, all the guys who come
C-Lo.
through.
C-Note.
Cino is
CeeLo.
CeeLo as well. CeeLo, all the C's. All the C's.
All right. Well, it's
All
the
All right.
Breakfast Club.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank
Good
you.
morning.